Good day. Welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. I'm Mike, and on this channel, I like to discuss everything sort of I've incurred in my life as a type 1 diabetic. It's kind of raw, but it's just my views on how I've lived and how I strive to be the best diabetic I can be. Sounds interesting. So, sit back, grab your cup of coffee, tea, whatever, and we'll get going with our topic today. Our topic today is diabetic wish, which I think is the same for all of us. So stay tuned, relax, we'll be right back. Hi, so what is the wish every type 1 diabetic has? And that is, we want a cure. There's always been that little carrot on the stick being put in front of our faces saying, just another 5 to 10 years. That's what I heard back in 1977, and that's sort of what we're still hearing today. We are a bit closer today than we were back in 1977. We have cell transportation, cell transplantation. That's the word I was trying, transplantation, where a donor and they make beta cells and they put the beta cells in. There has been some success with that. So that is now old news. Like, everyone in the world knows that one. What else is out there? They're now finding ways of identifying type 1 diabetes that could come on in a few years, and getting those kids or young people or young adults onto a drug that could prolong type 1 diabetes. So we are getting close. Never say never, but it is important that we keep doing this. If we don't, it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to take insulin. I don't like to take insulin. But once you take away the hope, it's kind of like, there's nothing left. Why should we keep dreaming? So, type 1 diabetes is always the dream that we will become fully cured. And by fully cured, I mean we don't have to sit there, count our carbs, even wear an insulin pump. All these little advances are working towards the one big advance we want, where they'll come online one day and say, type 1 diabetes is cured. We may have to wait. I don't know if it'll be my lifetime, but I still think it's important that we carry the hope, and we're seeing the results of that hope over the years. Type 1 diabetes is being a lot easier today than it was. Pumps help us. Counting carbs for meals can help. It's certainly a lot better in getting our blood sugars down pat. We're doing so much better. I would say back in 1977, we were in what we call the dark ages of type 1 diabetes, where nothing was really done about it. The most things we had here in Canada was Tab Cola. I don't even think they make Tab Cola anymore. It wasn't bad. We had Tab Cola, and we had Trident gum. And then slowly, Trident mints came on, and it was like, oh, the best. And then we started to see more sugar-free items. All of a sudden, gums were coming out, and everything was coming out sugar-free. And it wasn't because of diabetes per se. It was because people didn't want sugar in everything, because they figured sugar was the killer of us all. Now, for a type 1 diabetic, it is. So, we need to take things and look at things, and pretty good. But for my life, I've been lucky in sort of being brittle. I've been lucky because I'm a brittle diabetic. I don't wish it on anyone. I wish I could just take my insulin, go do my day, come back, enjoy the night. I really would enjoy that. But, you know what? It's not going to happen. I don't respond well to insulin, so I'm in a long-term care, partially because of my diabetes, partially because of other things. But I'm lucky because I have had the newest pump. I've had all the newest treatments that are available, and I'm grateful for that. Not every diabetic has what's going than I do. Because of my brittleness, became disabled because of my diabetes. Other things followed: neuropathy problems came on, and my foot problems came on, and now they're all kind of converging. I've done a video where I've listed all my complications, but that isn't necessarily open to all type 1 diabetics. Just because you're a type 1 diabetic does not mean that you get a free pass on disability. You have to prove that type 1 diabetes affects your life. And it may be extra testing, but you still have to prove, excuse me, you can't sort of say, oh, yes, I'm disabled. I have type 1 diabetes. If you're able to take your blood sugars and carry on your life, then they wouldn't necessarily say you're type 1 diabetic disabled. There's been a number, and it's been around for years, a number of endocrinologists, even doctors, even GPs, have said type 1 diabetes, the best place for them is out in the real world so that they can get, sorry, just dose that, can get their life ahead of things. But yeah, that's better for you. Type 1 diabetes is still around. Doesn't matter if you're like me and you're type 1 disabled, can't speak, or you're regular type 1 or a parent of type 1. We all just want type 1 or any diabetes in the world to disappear. I started off by saying a wish for all type 1s. And I said it that way instead of all diabetics because type 1 and type 2 are two different diseases. They are grouped together because of sugar in the blood. Type 1, your pancreas gives out because your body attacks its beta cells. Type 2, your body just doesn't produce enough. So we're two different diseases. Come together. I hope they find a cure for everyone. Diabetes sucks. It's not a good thing to have. So I hope one day we get our wish and diabetes is knocked off the face of the earth. Have an awesome day. Actually, before I do goodbye, I'm thinking an awful lot of type 1 drugs are now being used on type 2, and type 2 drugs are being used on type 1. So maybe a crossover of coming up with a cure for type 1 will bring a cure for type 2, even though they're two different diseases. Okay, with that, have a great day, and we'll talk again later. All right? I'll give it. Bye now. My email address is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. All one line. Drop me